It is the biggest giveaway we've ever run over at futtrading.co.uk. This year has been the most insane year for the website. It has come on leaps and bounds. We've improved it left, right and centre. And you guys have supported us through all of that. I want to say thank you for all the incredible support that there's been there this year. Really, we couldn't do it without you guys buying into what we do. And so to say thank you, we are giving away 2 next generation consoles and 2 copies of FIFA 22. So 4 giveaways in total. One of you will win each of those rewards. It's going to be absolutely insane. So 4 people subscribed are going to win themselves an awesome prize. All you've got to do is subscribe between now and July, so the end of July, to be entered in with a chance to win. Perfect time right now to test the market on FIFA. When your coins are, less needed, you can learn how the market works, work with that, and it will give you a running start for FIFA 22. So make sure you check it out. Go to futtrading.co.uk. But for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, make sure you subscribe down below and make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. You would have seen it in the intro, but make sure you check out Futtrading. I've said it so many times, but right now, the end of any FIFA game is the best time to learn the FIFA transfer market. That is where the market's relatively stable, relatively consistent. There's slightly less players in the game. If you go and subscribe right now at Futtrading, you've got a chance to win yourself either a PlayStation 5 Digital or an Xbox Series S, plus 2 copies of FIFA 22 being given away, and you'll make loads of coins, learn how the market works, and set yourself up for FIFA 22. So make sure you check it out. But this video is about the great FIFA 21 Global Series scam. That's what I'm calling it. It is a scam. Basically, in my opinion, because it's considered a competitive esport, the esport itself needs to be open to anyone. So by that, I mean things like Fortnite, for example, does these massive events and anyone can enter those events. Not anyone can. As long as you're good enough and you've got the skill, you can. Overwatch, League of Legends, what else is there? Warzone even, you get all those sort of things. FIFA considers itself, or EA considers FIFA, a competitive esport. And I will argue, yes, it is. And I'll say, yep, fine, you can argue it is. However, FIFA has to be one of the only esports that, in order to be competitive, you have to spend a lot of money. A lot of money. Someone worked out last year, I believe, that you would need to spend something stupid, like 100k plus, to end up with the end game team on FIFA, if not more. And obviously FIFA came out and said, oh no, but that's not fair because you wouldn't have that team. But a lot of these guys are rocking these ridiculous teams anyway. My problem with that is it shouldn't rely upon financial might, it should rely upon skill. And that's a major problem that I have with FIFA as an esport. But moreover, the prize money on offer for FIFA in general is nowhere near good enough. I'm going to take you through that in a second. In terms of the fact that some of these players are considered the best in the business, they're not earning enough money for it. And the fact that you're spending that much money on it, you're probably not, for the vast majority, making your money back. I'll explain EA's standpoint afterwards and what they say about it. Because they talk about things like players get, basically, the best way of putting it is reputation from it. But I'll go into that in detail. But I'm going to show you the prize money first. It's all on their website. I'll be right back. Alright guys, here we are with the prize money on offer for different stages of the FIFA esports journey, we'll call it. Basically, for the European qualifiers, here for PlayStation and Xbox, £15,000 for first place. 13th to 16th, so some of the best players in the area, £1,000. For Xbox One, £500. It's slightly cheap, obviously there's less players on Xbox, I get that. What I don't like, though, is the sheer disparity between some parts of the world. So I get there's less people playing in, West Asia. I get that to a degree. I do. North America. There are less people. But if you're ranked in these sort of rankings, I just think the prize money should be exactly the same no matter where you are, basically, because I don't really see it. Regional playoff pricing, £100,000 for the person that wins it. But when you get down to, these are the 64 best players in Europe, $750. Not pounds, these are dollars, by the way. So that's the top 64, $750. This would be okay if you weren't sort of required to have a ridiculous team you've paid for with your own money. This would be okay. It wouldn't be the end of the world in my opinion. But because people are having to spend their own money on this game to be competitive, that's not good enough. That is not good enough at all. The prize money should be far higher. Now, this is a company that earn billions per year. And from the FIFA franchise specifically, billions. You paying your pros in Europe £750 dollars. I keep saying pounds, dollars. For being in the top 60 between 33 and 64 isn't good enough. It's not good enough. South America, it's $500 for 17th to 32nd. North America, 9th to 16th for $1,000. East Asia, $1,250. That is for the regional events. And these are basically the ones that just happened now, so the regional qualifiers. So don't get me wrong, you look at the first place and go, fantastic, $100,000, that is a huge amount of money. It is a huge amount of money. So is 70, 15, 10,000 for finishing 7 to 8 for whatnot. These are good amounts of money. I'm not doubting that. My problem lies in these ones here. These are the ones that I have the biggest problem with. Because these are still incredibly talented players who are basically barely making back what they're spending on the game to be competitive in the first place. Now, I've seen a few people say, oh, $2,000 gets you a competitive team and X, Y, X, Y, X, Y. It ain't necessarily true, if we're being entirely honest. You need luck. And when FIFA banned things like coin buying and stuff like that, I get it. I get why they ban it, because it is obviously not in their interest to have people buy coins and bypass the whole store in the game. I do understand that to a certain degree. But to do that, you've got to financially incentivize these pro players properly. It has to be done better than it is done right now. So this is the FIFA E-World Cup, which is what is coming up. At the moment, we're doing all the qualifiers for it. The FIFA E-World Cup is coming up. And the total prize pool is $500,000 and the winner gets $250,000. This is great. But again, I care not about the person that wins and gets £250,000. I care about the people that are pros that go and travel there. They've got to pay for expenses in terms of hotels. Now, some of them are signed to teams and they get their expenses paid for them. Not everyone is. And especially in the earlier stages of qualifiers. If you think about it this way, $750 on offer for Europe here. Now, if you go and do qualifiers in any certain place and whatnot, if you have to go anywhere, sometimes you do have to do hotels and flights and stuff like that. That's not enough money. It's not enough money to even cover the cost of that. And again here, and I was just reading this article here. I was talking about how this year EA have, to their credit, made it about a $4 million plus prize pool, which is fine. But when you compare that to the like of Overwatch second season, 1.1 million alone for the second season, or Fortnite when they did the 2019 Fortnite World Cup, which had the $3 million prize pool, you start to realise where the issue lies, because these are games you don't need to spend money on to be competitive. This is just money they've taken out of the company's taken out of their earnings and gone, here you go, here is X amount of money because you are the best in the business, and that is how it should be. If you're going to make a situation where people have to pay a lot to compete in your esport, the money needs to be better. Now, I tried to find the article from last year, I think it was. Basically, what EA said in relation to criticism about prize money is that by being on a big global stage, these players get reputation, and that allows them to stream, to sign for teams, and earn money that way. In my opinion, firstly, it's a disgusting point of view. Purely on the fact that why should you rely upon other people to then sign players that you're putting on that stage to pay those players the right money? You should be paying them what they're worth. They make you money. They have these gigantic events on Twitch, 50,000, 100,000 viewers. These people are making you money. You should be paying them. But to turn around and say they get reputation from it, you can't pay the bills with reputation. You may sign for someone, you may make money from it, and that way you may get a big following on stream. For example, Tex, when he had an absolutely ridiculous run in FIFA 20, absolutely killed it, rightly so. He still is, in my opinion, the best player in the world. And his streams were busy, filled with people, and he did brilliantly from it. But these are the exception to the rule. These guys that are 33rd to 64th, or these guys that are top level players that aren't qualifying for the Europe playoffs, but are winning, sort of doing well in their regional events, they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that sign on. And the problem that I have with that mentality is, why do you pass the buck to somebody else to pay those players? You should be doing that. You're making billions. It shouldn't be for Footwiz or Fnatic or any of these teams to have to pay these players. And that only covers a fair few players. The pro player scene on FIFA is massive. It's absolutely huge. And not everyone's going to be signed. We're looking at the moment on the website and doing what we do to make our own esports team and pay players a fair wage and stuff like that with what we've done. As the dogs lose their mind, I apologise for that. I'll be back once the dogs start kicking off. Had to cut it slightly because the dog started barking at the postman. But basically, we're looking at starting our own esports team via the website and all the things that we do. But there's only so many players you can sign. And there are so many out there, so many players that are amazing at this game. And I could go onto Twitch every now and then and just look and find these players who are going 30-0 every week. And they've got 3 or 4 people watching them. And it's not right. It's not right because there's not enough of a platform for these people to do well on for EA to claim that they give these players reputation. No, you don't. There are so many players that go 29-1, 30-0 every single week. A lot of them stream on Twitch and they just don't get watched. One of the best players I know from last year, Eleds, like someone that I've watched a long time, I know him well. He streamed to sort of 20, 30 people and he deserved to have a lot more watching his streams because he's brilliant at this game. He taught me a lot about how to play this game. Kiko, another guy that I know, streams to sort of 40, 50 people, sometimes more, sometimes slightly less. He's fantastic at this game. I wouldn't consider him a pro just yet, but if EA had a system in place that could maybe help these players, he could go pro. He definitely could go pro. These are very good FIFA players. So no, reputation alone is not enough to pay the bills to a lot of these players. And there's only so much that organisations can do. There's only so much, and it isn't that profitable. As an organisation, doing FIFA isn't that profitable. The reason why we do it on the website is because we want to give back to the community because we've done well from it. Like, if we're being honest, we've done well from it and we want to try and give back as much as we possibly can. But it's not good enough to sit around and say, okay, cool, well, you get a platform because that platform isn't as big as EA like to claim it is. It's nowhere near as big as EA like to claim it is. My biggest problem with this overall is you should not, if you're qualifying for these events, you should not lose money on them. You should make money on them. If you're in some of the best players in the world or in your region, you should be making money. And there's no excuse that a company that earns billions of pounds a year lines their shareholders' pockets with £300 million, $300 million, whatever it is, every single year, can't take a bigger slice of that pie and give it back to the pro players that make their game what it is. Because let's be honest, all of us play Foot Champions because we aspire to that 29-1, that 30-0, one day maybe doing it, or finishing elite. And those players are the people that you aspire to look up to and go, I want to play like these players do because they're incredible. Let me know what you think down below. I'm pretty much settled in my mindset. If you're being made to pay to be competitive, you should earn more money. But if you disagree with me, let me know down below. But that's me on the video. If you are new around here, as always, make sure you subscribe down below. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss an upload. But for now, I am out. Peace out. I'll speak to you soon.